Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook user. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Janelle. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in and say hello. I have one of these things. This is so fun. I have a banner. Ha! It took me a year to find that thing. Very interesting indeed. And this morning, when we're talking about breakfast, as we let people come in, I got to tell you about this because I want to tell you about it yesterday. Can you see this? Look at this. Do you see this? It looks kind of purpley blue, right? So, and I literally don't get anything for this, but I just had to share it because whenever I love something, I like to share it. So I'm going to tell you guys, my husband bought this tea. Check it out. Check it out. Can you see it? It's called blue tea, and it literally is blue. And supposedly, for those of you in our area, Gary, so hello, Rebecca. So this blue tea, it's amazing. So first of all, it doesn't have any caffeine. It's like an Indian chai tea. And so like I find a lot of Indian chai teas like super intense, and like the caffeine just like it gives me a headache because it's like super power what do you call it, just like super intense. And so this doesn't have any caffeine in it, but it has the chai flavor, and it's this beautiful blue color. And what I was about to tell you, check it out. Okay. And what I was about to tell you is that supposedly, depending on what kind of water you use, it can be like even brighter blue and stuff. And like spring water, like we have in SPAC, like in Saratoga Springs, like where they had the good water there. I'm going to go get some. I got to go get some and see. They have all kinds of different spring waters. There's some like smell awful, but there's like two spouts. Right, Gary? Have you been there? There are like these two spouts that have really, really good water coming out of there that like taste good. The other ones are like really irony. But so yeah, check it out. If you're looking for a really yummy tea that doesn't have caffeine in it and it's just beautiful, get this. All of my kids love it. Like both the girls absolutely love it. So I was like so excited about this. I was like, I gotta tell them. It's so good. So happy breakfast for the body and the soul. That's what we do here. So for those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Dr. Disha Phillip, cardiologist who deals with all matters of the heart and founder of the Path to Meditation Mastery, Meditation for Female Physicians group. So we like to meet here Monday through Friday as much as possible, as much as I can, 7 to 7:30 to have a healthy breakfast for our souls. So we discuss all things spiritual, and really with the premise of we're not human beings seeking a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are beings of love and light, and that is our true essence. Everything else is a drama of life. Our souls came into our bodies to use it as a vehicle to experience connection and express love in the flesh. So that's why we have to take care of our bodies, right? So all of us docs here who meet here, this is why we do what we do, right? This is why we try to save people's lives and try to help them have healthy bodies. Why, right? I love the American Heart Association's Life is Why. Life is Why campaign, because what is life to us? What does life mean to you? You might visualize it being your family, your friends, the people you've served, your patients, right? All of that. Life is love, maybe, right? And so that's why we're here. But sometimes when we get so caught up with the external, including these bodies, right? But when we get caught up too much in the external, things suddenly don't seem to go our way. Suddenly the next thing you know, you're not liking life so much, and we forget how lucky we are to have this moment in time right now together. So let's go ahead and see what our messages are for the day. August 5th, let me constantly be true to myself, to others, and to God. It says to God, but I also love love, or source, or the universe. So let me constantly be true to myself, to others, and to love. You can't go wrong when you're true to love. And so what does that mean? It means, is the thought that I'm having right now true to love? I had a lady come in yesterday, delightful lady. And I walk in and I'm like, how are you doing? And she looks at me, she goes, well, I'm still fat. That's what she says, right? And I'm like, now. And then she says, well, I should have done this and I should have done that. She was shitting all over herself. We were just talking about this earlier this week. And I said, stop right now. I said, would you say that to a 4-year-old young child? Would you speak that way to her or him? Would you say, you know what? You should have done this and you should have done that and you're fat. Would you say that? And she says, she's like, never. I say, don't ever talk to yourself with a tone or a way that you would never speak to someone else, especially a young child. Don't ever talk to yourself that way, right? Let me be constantly true to myself, to others, and to love. Often, and I know my physician sisters know this because we have all been there, we are the ones who are constantly punishing ourselves. We are the ones giving us our own wrath, right? Constantly. You didn't do this. Oh, you didn't get up and run today. Oh, you're such a loser. You can't get this done. Oh, I'm so stupid, right? So many of us, I'm so stupid. I do it all the time. It's not good, right? How do we be true to ourselves, to others, and to God? And here's the thing, is that sometimes we walk around and we think other people should treat us better than we actually treat ourselves. Right? But here's the kicker. We can't be true and loving to someone else in the appropriate way, in a true way, if we're not doing that for ourselves first. This is why, right? This is why self-care has to be number one. This is why I say, physician, heal thyself. It's impossible to truly help others heal if we're sitting there berating ourselves the whole time, right? It doesn't help us to lose the weight or to eat healthy where you're like, oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I can't. Another year's gone by. I've made no changes, right? Okay, maybe it's a fact, and does saying it in that way, in that tone, in that voice, help you to be like, okay, enough, I'm not going to do it anymore? Sometimes I feel like my parents really thought that, right? Like the negative reinforce, like it's reverse psychology. If they say, oh, you can't do it, right? And then I'll be like, no, I can do it. It did work sometimes with me, I must say. But it made me not like them very much. So let me constantly be true. And what is true, right? Some people say, well, look, I'm not going to be all Pollyanna about stuff, because guess what? It is true that I didn't lose weight this year because I ate all the sugar and the crap and I ate fast food and blah, blah, blah. That's true. That's true. Well, is that true? Okay, maybe on the outside it looks true, but then we have to ask the question, why? Okay. What is true, which you forget, which leads to taking the negative actions. But what's true, the thing that you forget, is that you are a being of love, worthy just the way you are, a being of love and light. You don't have to do anything to be worthy of love, because that's who you are. That's what you are. Okay? And so when you remember that about yourself, you will naturally want to take care of yourself. But it's when we forget, when we get caught up in the drama outside, when we're overwhelmed with too many notes to write. This is what happens to me, right? 4:00 hits. I've got, 20 notes to sign, 25 messages, 30 messages to go through, plus 20 studies to read. I'm in overwhelm. I've kind of done it to myself, right? Because I'm allowing myself to keep staying in this rat race, right? Sometimes we need to take that step back and look and be like, okay, is this serving me? Am I being true? Am I allowing my love and light to shine when the hamster wheel gets out of control? Right? We have to ask these questions. If we are not happy and content with our life, we have to ask the question why. We have to look at it as a detached observer. Today is Friday. For my students, law of detachment, okay? We have to lovingly detach and look at the situation and say, okay, what gives here? Okay, and then make the next right step from that place of love. Okay, all right, awesome. Make sure you put your takeaways in the comments. Okay, August 5th, ask and it is given. You may blame yourself for not being strong enough to appreciate some unhappy people in spite of their negative emotional offerings toward you. Well, we would never suggest that you be able to look at something that you do not want and feel good about it. Instead, look for things that cause you to feel appreciation when you find them. And then the law of attraction will bring you more things like those. So awesome, right? So, yes, Rebecca loves law of detachment. It's the best one. But this is a huge ask and it is given, right? So as we ascend and get closer and closer on the spiritual path and get closer to our inherent truth and recognizing it, right? So as you start on this path, recognizing, okay, that's the drama of life. I'm a pure, peaceful soul. I'm a being of love. That's what's really true, right? And you start elevating, and then, and there is this aspect of like, have compassion and mercy for those who don't understand, or have, right? Like Jesus teaches that too, right? Wonderful, right? And so, and we come across people all the time. And I feel like in the medical world, we see so many patients. There are some patients that we really love to see, and there are some that rather not, right? Like, it's okay. You can follow up as needed. Right. So it happens. It's just, we are still human beings. Right. And then when you're on the spiritual path, you may think, oh, I really shouldn't have any negative energy toward that person. Right. Like, that's not right. I got to give love and compassion to everyone. Yes. And here's what they're saying, though. Don't blame yourself for not being strong enough to appreciate some unhappy people in spite of their negative emotional offerings toward you. Well, we would never suggest that you be able to look at something you do not want and feel good about it. Instead, look for the things that cause you to feel appreciation when you find them. And then the law of attraction will bring you more things like those. So this just always reminds me of how, I did my residency training in the Bronx. Lots of diverse population there from all kinds of struggles people are having, right? Lots of substance abuse and drugs and, things like that too. And people who are not in their right mind, right? And so I would often get called as a resident doctor. So-and-so wants to lead AMA against medical advice. You better come up here. They're ripping out their IV and, you better come up here, blah, blah, blah. right? And it was always like immediately my heart was like, oh crap, right? Because it feels like you're about to go deal with somebody who's like a caged animal, right? Because they want to leave because they do feel like a caged animal, or they want to leave because they want to smoke, or they want to leave because who knows, right? Like there's so many different reasons. They got to go take care of their cat, or they want, and something is driving them, even though their health is not in order, to just rip it, I'm leaving, right? There you go. And some people, especially when they're not mentally healthy, right? They will become violent and belligerent. And often, I'd be like, call security, right? I'm not going up there by myself, right? And so when I was a trainee, right? Like this was always, I was like, oh God, I'm getting the call, right? And it was always some kind of big drama. You got to have them sign the pink form, the AMA form. I'm not doing it, right? Okay. So it was never something that I really wanted to get involved in. But I will tell you that after I started learning about the law of attraction, and just this August 5th, this little message here, when I started looking for more things in my environment, people like to appreciate, these calls lessened and lessened and lessened. And then, like just in the hospital, and then what would happen is maybe I would get the call and I would get up there to the floor and they'd already left. And it's like, whoosh, it got whisked away from my awareness for me to have to deal with it in any way, shape, or form. It's like out of my, like I didn't have to do anything. It just got, it just got taken away from me. And I really think it's because it's not a vibrational match for me to be with someone who's like super, super belligerent and angry. And, that's like not my match, that's not my vibration. And so check it out. So if you are a doc who gets called on all of these patients a lot, or you're dealing with a lot of belligerent people in your life, think about a little tool. You just experiment with it. This is the coolest thing about this. Just experiment. Hi, Amy. Just experiment with testing it out. Start looking for the, appreciating things that you really, really love. Or like, say you have a great patient encounter and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so wonderful, right? So wonderful. That encounter, that felt so good for both of us, right? We've had that. I know we have, right here, we did. And so, like when you anchor that in for yourself, you raise your vibration, and then the law of attraction, the law is you'll attract more in that way. All right. So don't feel bad if you are having trouble loving and adoring everybody. It's all good because some people are vibrational match and some are not. They're still our soul siblings though. Okay. So we can still give them loving vibration from far away too. So, and be in that compassionate place and have that, exercise that loving, compassionate heart. But it doesn't mean you have to get punched in the process. Okay. All righty, let's see. Sometimes we have that with our family members, like our parents or siblings or whatever. You love them, but you don't like them. It's all right. Okay, let's see what we need to hear. I don't think I've gotten this one before. All right, guys. Willingness. You are able to compromise if the end result is love. Yes, yes, yes. That's so true. All right, here we go. You have come to the earth plane to learn to accept the things you cannot change, as opposed to those you can. Life is a constant game of discovery, but no price can be put on any experience because each one transforms you. When you are willing to look inside and begin to change your habits, self-imposed fears and perceptions, when you are willing to look inside and begin to change your habits, self-imposed fears and perceptions, only then will you be able to see your true self. The catalyst for transformation comes from your willingness to forgive, open your heart, and be honest with yourself. You are never too old to learn, and each day should be filled with excitement about how your perspective will be altered. You can gauge your spiritual growth by your willingness to learn from and accept another. By keeping an open mind, when conditions change, you expand your knowledge of life. Allowing love to radiate through you and in everything you do brings divine awareness to all those in your sphere. Rigidly adhering to your dogma is doing a disservice to your growth. The willingness to accept others and their individual path is a soul strength. Ooh, oh, Facebook user. How do we integrate good feelings from positive encounters? That's a really good question. So just to quickly, just like when you walk out, really just think of those thoughts like, wow, I really liked X, Y, and Z. Like yesterday, I was talking about the rosebud thorn with my girls, right? You reflect on your day before you go to sleep at night, run a little movie reel about how your day went, and think about the things that really went very well. If you have those thoughts right before you go to bed at night, right before you fall asleep, that's also what you'll think about when you're waking up, and then you magnify those vibrations. That's just one way. Okay. You can even write them down. Keep a journal of the awesome encounters that you have. There's a lot that you can do karmically. Karma meaning action, take action to integrate those encounters. All right. It's 7:26. This was a really, 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 really good card. Diane, I want you to listen up. Okay. Listen to that again. Everybody needs to listen to that again. All right. I would talk more, but I'm not going to. All right. So we need to keep going. All right. So it's time to meditate. Let it all just marinate. Close your eyes. Get comfortable wherever you are sitting. And visualize your heart in the center of your chest. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath into your heart and really fill up with that love, joy, curiosity, wonder, acceptance, and appreciation. Breathe out of your heart and allow those vibrations of love and joy and appreciation to ooze out of your pores. Breathe normally. Let's go ahead and ask ourselves the 4 soul questions. Allow anything at all to come to you. Question 1. Who am I? Who am I? Second question. What do I want? What is my deepest desire? Third question. What is my purpose? How can I serve myself and others? Fourth question. What am I grateful for? What do I really appreciate? Now rest. Rest in existence. Rest in consciousness. Rest in awareness. Just rest. And as we rest, I'll pronounce 4 intentions. Just repeat them silently and release them into being. Joyful, energetic body. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. Reflective, alert mind. And lightness of being. Lightness of being. Continue to rest. And when you're ready, you can slowly start wiggling your fingers and toes, flutter open your eyes. Give yourself a big stretch. Then bring your palms together to your heart center and give yourself a little bow of gratitude for coming here this morning, coming here this week, all of you joining us for the first time. And from this place of being charged and reconnected with your truth, let's from that place give a blast of love, compassionate energy out to all of our family, our friends, our community, our city, our state, our country, to all the countries on this planet, to every single soul, brother and sister on this planet. And then from there, we give a blast of that energy out into the universe. And then from there, it gets boomeranged right back to us. I'll say namaste. The divine light in me sees and honors the divine light in you. Have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you put your takeaways in the comments, especially, yes, so grateful that you're here too. And make sure that you, if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. And I'll see you back here on Monday. Sending you so much love. Mwah.